Every game, every story, every debate straight to you. During the international break, every continent comes alive on our channel, Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, COSAFA Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper, United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered. Premier League Game Month Show, Stats, Analysis, Insights every 4 game weeks. Champions Crystal Ball, UEFA Tournaments, Club World Cup, Super Cup Predictions. Final Whistle Debate Show, the hottest sports topics debated by experts, every 6 weeks. Deal Paranoia, transfer window coverage you can't miss. And for weekly predictions? We cover everything, Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League One, DStv Premiership, T20 Cricket, F1, Women's Super League, international tournaments, and much more. Why subscribe? Because we don't just show games, we predict, analyze, debate, and break the stories that matter. From transfers to tactical battles, from managerial appointments to live watch-alongs, Football Overseas gives you the edge no other channel does. This is your hub for global sports, where every match counts, every opinion matters, and every fan belongs. Subscribe, join the debate, and fuel your passion. The game doesn't...
Pick up, guys. Welcome to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and we are live for Del Perona. This is episode 3 of the summer 2026, and obviously this is week 2 review of what has been going on in the transfer window, and there's been a lot of things that has gone on between week 1 and week 2. We have had around how many updates so far? A lot of massive updates, yeah, and I'll bring it up for you guys. First of all, first update between the 2 episodes. First update between the 2 episodes. Well, we discussed this, but this deal was finalized, and it is now done. With everything done, it is just Gonçalo Ramos to confirmed. It is Gonçalo Ramos to to AC Milan. So obviously this is a done deal, and Gonçalo Ramos has been performing quite well in for Portugal national team. Yes, you have been seeing he has been a super sub for that team, and it seems like it's a good deal. 74 million, a bit steepy there for Gonçalo Ramos. I will have paid 65, but it is a good deal, and they are getting a good striker finally. He's a European proven striker as well. He hasn't been having the best form in League One, yeah, and he has been in the shadow of the likes of Dembele, the Sergio, Bacalo, and yeah, he has been in that shadow. Yeah, but apart from that, Luis Enrique wanted to keep him as a rotation option, but the player wanted game time, and you have to respect the man for that. He wanted to step out of the shadows and to be the main star of the show again, because he lost that when he joined PSG, and at Benfica he was the main star of the show. Yeah, sadly at yeah. So that's the thing, and AC Milan has reached an agreement with PSG on a club record permanent transfer for Jesse Ramos, with a deal practically almost done. personal terms have been settled. Previous episode said it was a 50-50, and it has quickly moved from 50-50 to 100% in a few days. Yeah. This episode was meant to be done last week, by the way. Another deal is this. Then Nico pass back to Como. That's another hot deal that was done. And it's a funny story, actually. So what happened? Real Madrid activated. Yeah, what happened? Real Madrid activated the buyback clause to buy Nico pass from Como for 10 million and to sell him back to Como for 64 million. And they put in a massive buyback clause of 80 million. And yeah, so when Como bought um when Como bought Nico Pass for 64 million, it has removed the Madrid sell-on clause. Yeah, so they paid 64 million to remove the sell-on clause, and in the end, Real Madrid made money out of this deal because they made an extra 50 million, and Real Madrid now has extra cash to do the summer deals. Yeah. So, in terms of the buying club, it is a smart deal. That is a smart deal to do. Smart strategy. Actually, I don't see any club doing shady business like how Real Madrid has handled that business. But it is a good deal to do. For the player, he will have gotten more game time at Como than at Real Madrid. So yeah, it's a perfect choice. And plus, he's playing himself football as well. So, and it is good for his development at this time right now. And if he was going to move from Como, it should not be to a club like Real Madrid. It should be a club where he will get game time, and in Madrid he will not get game time there. He'll be competing with the likes of Adagola, the likes of Bellingham, and a lot of stars for attention. So, yeah, and plus in Madrid, there's a lot of pressure. So it's either you show up on the first day, or maybe become part of the team lights. So, yeah, so that's the thing. Another thing is another most almost done deal is this deal of Lee Canley to PSG to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, so in the previous episode, this deal was almost a done deal, and it's still almost a done deal. Yeah, it's still almost a done deal either way, and now it has been moving at attraction speed, and there's a lot of visibility. Actually, I see this deal being practically done, and both all three parties wants to move. Uh, I think the manager wants to keep him as a rotational option. The player wants to become his own man. He wants to get the main attention. He wants to get to bridge his own path, and he doesn't want to be in a shadow of anyone. And at PSG, I know the player can play right wing, he can play CM, he can play a lot of many positions, but he's always got to be a backup option for those guys, or a super sub option. Yeah, and he doesn't want to be that, he wants to be a start option. Alex Madrid, he'll get the game time for sure, he'll get the game time that he needs. And yeah, Diego Simon's system suits him. The control based system, and I feel like he'll really flourish under Diego Simeone. Yeah. Also for Alex Madrid, it is a good opportunity to sign him. They get to tap into this South Korean market. Yeah, in terms of marketing, they can market to their audience in South America, South Korea, because now they have a player that from South Korea as well. So I know that Alex Komatlit is going for a pre-season tournament in South Korea, and they can use him as a marketing tool as well. So in terms of generating money, there are some players that you signed where in the first transfer week they generate back the transfer fee that you paid for that you paid to get them. And I feel like this player is a kind of player that will help early to come at it in that way. Already let's look at it this way. Also Lookman was a good signing for Atletico Madrid. He foraged very well, and who knows, maybe Lee can also do the same and have the same impact as Lukman had. You never know. But this deal is entering its final stages. It is it is not unlike the collapse Gomez deal situation. The negotiations here are progressing rapidly, with both clubs who aggressively ironing out the final multi-million euro fee. Mm. PSG is highly willing to sell. Yeah, they have dropped the all not for sale stance on all only Kang in, and they want to turn a profit on the 22 million they paid for him, using the funds to aggressively secure the signing of AS Monica's attacking midfielder slash right wing player, um, Ali, Ali, no, Akili Och as his direct replacement. Yeah, so the deal right now stands at 90% chance, and the only remaining hurdle is breaching the final valuation gap. PSG wants a 35 million euro, and while Atletico Madrid is trying to lower the cost by introducing performance add-ons. That the only thing left is the performance add-ons and how Atletico Madrid structures those performance add-ons, and whether PSG sees those performance add-ons as feasible or not feasible. But apart from that, it's a good deal that is practically done. The only thing that makes it being collapsed is that this is a deal where it is collapsing. It's a deal that has collapsed. Yeah, I talked about it in the United Fourth Line in the away, in the away end podcast, but collapsed. Yeah, I talked about it in the away podcast, but this is a collapse deal. Where, where is it? Yeah. So obviously, Chelsea is still trying to go for the player. The player is now acting as if he has rejected Chelsea when he's the one who has been begging initially to go for Chelsea, to go to Chelsea. I don't get it. And Sutherland rejected the bid of Chelsea, and the player doesn't want to get embarrassed. And now he has seen, yeah. So I think the player has had a U-turn, and the player now wants to stay at Sutherland, which is a strange thing when he was begging, literally begging on his knees for a move to Chelsea. But let's see how this deal goes. But somehow right now it seems like a dead water deal right now. Another deal with another update is Chalabao. Chalabao, Chelsea is organizing with Chalabao, Chelsea is organizing. Yeah, which all about Chelsea's organizing an Eternal League auction where they have been offering him to Eternal League's clubs. Like, I think the first club he was linked to was Como, now he's linked to Inter Milan. and it seems like an eternal league where he'll most likely be heading to. But Chelsea will have to lower the fee so that they can accommodate the eternal league's financial issues. And yeah, in terms of the players' ability, the player has won a lot of trophies. The only trophy he hasn't won at Chelsea is the Premier League, and apart from that, he has won all the trophies that's there to win. That an English that a player in the English league is meant to win. He has won all those trophies, and the only trophies left is the Premier League. But I think his career, if he was going to leave the Premier League to go to the China League, he'll not he'll not regret it, because let's be honest, already he has already matched a lot of success at a young age. Yeah, one some of this is due to his association of playing for a bigger club, but yeah. So mhm. Now this is another deal that is 50-50. Stones to Juventus. Yeah, this is a deal that is very, very dependent on a lot of things. Yeah, so um yeah, John Stones is linked to Juventus. Juventus is highly This is a highly complex transfer battle that will not see any real movement until the conclusion of the ongoing 2026 World Cup. Stones is in the World Cup 2026 and is playing for England. England has thus qualified for the quarterfinals, and seems like this deal will still prolong. And yeah, so because Stone's contract has expired on June 30th, 2026, he's a free agent. This fits perfectly into Juventus' restricted summer budget following their failure to qualify for UCL. The player is highly interested, but they are selective. It's selective. Stones wants to ensure his next club remains among the European elite to protect his international status under Thomas Tuchel, and his entourage has held primary groundwork meetings with Juventus, but he has completely frozen all final career decisions until England's World Cup campaign ends, and most likely this deal could see some new contractions going on after July 19th or after the semifinals. Yes. Juventus is very highly interested, but there are, there are a lot of high debates. Yeah, they have. Yeah, so the manager wants has identified Stones to the director as his the primary priority defensive target, but the medical staff and the board are hesitant to offer the 32-year-old a highly volatile physical, a massive wage package due to his highly volatile physical track record. Yeah, so they're worried about his fitness issues. Mm, as well, I think there has been a bit of groundwork on the surface, so the hotness of this deal is warm. Yeah, but the deal is in total holding pattern until the tournament is done. Yeah, so until then, yeah, another player that is 50-50 is Colomwani. That another deal that is 50-50, and it has been 50-50 for a while, a long, long while. Yeah. So Colomwani, Juventus has reached a verbal personal terms agreement to sign Colomani, but the transfer on personal terms to sign Colomani, but the transfer is in affairs multi-million euro club-to-club valuation war. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So what's it? The player is very interested. The player has prioritized a return to Turin over several Premier League clubs inquiries. The selling club PSG is highly interested in selling him, but they're stubborn on the pricing. And even though the player is out of the plans for the manager blueprint, but they want to protect his book value, and they're demanding a 40 euros package for the player. Juventus is, however, will Juventus is operating on a tight budget, and they're willing to sign him for a 30 to 35 obligation structure. Yeah, and the board cannot finalize and the incoming cash until they sell out of favor high earners like Valashit. It has become harder because Valashit has been has doesn't have any suitors right now. So this deal is boiling hot. The clubs are in daily contact. The player side is 100% sealed. Now it's up to the club because PSG wants 40 million. Juventus is only willing to offer 30 to 35 million. So it's only 10 million left. And this is an almost done deal. From paper, it looks like an almost done deal because 10 million left. But considering Juventus' tight financial situation, the 50-50 deal and it could collapse or it could go through. You never know. But while the player is doing everything possible to force the move, the, the transfer completely depends on Juventus making the room on the wage bill and breaching the remaining 5 to 10 million valuation gap with PSG. Yeah. So these are reports from Italian sources. Now another one is Yan Diomandé. Yan Diomandé has rejected Liverpool for PSG. Now this is a 50, I say 50-50 deal. I watched how Yan Diomandé has played in the AFCON 20, in the World Cup 2026, and I thought Amad Diallo played better than Yan Diomandé has played. I don't see how it's worth 120 million, and probably you're paying for his potential, but even that potential, you don't see it yet. You see the potential of 25 million, but it's Leipzig. Leipzig always overcharges. They never really charge the real potential. So yeah. So 120 million, um, Leipzig to PSG. It is a 75 feasibility chance. PSG has the financial muscle and the squad need. The sticking point to this is Leipzig's rigid stance and mammoth valuation, though the clubs have strong institutional ties. So that's what helps them is because of their relations that both clubs have with each other. Leipzig is not willing to sell. Yeah, and the directors even said that they hold the cards. It is impossible because in this transfer window, if I offer you money, you'll take it. Yeah, so they're demanding a massive fee. Some reports cite a lower fee of 100 million. Higher reports cite 130 million to sanction the deal, making making him the record sale. Um, PSG is highly motivated to push the deal through to secure one of the Europe's top talent and are negotiating directly with Leipzig on the deal. Players interest the player is very interested in joining PSG over Liverpool. He has ex- he has indicated his preference to join Paris over heavy suitors Liverpool, and is drawn to the project an opportunity to compete for major trophies under Luis Enrique. Hotness of this deal is 9 out of 10. It's one of the most explosive transfer sagas in this summer. And Diomandé competes at the World Cup with Ivory Coast, but Ivory Coast being knocked out, this deal can go faster and faster than the one of, yeah, this deal can go faster than the one of the French one that's going on. So I see this PSG sealing this deal faster than the Monaco deal because I know Monaco deal they'll have to wait until the World Cup finishes for them to finalize that deal. But PSG can finalize this deal now quicker with Yann Diomande being out of the World Cup. He was knocked out to Norway. So yeah. Another deal is Pep Shala to Chelsea. I'll leave that for the away end podcast. I think Hannah will want to talk about that. This deal, 108 million. It's an almost done deal. It is a confirmed deal. Um, Newcastle to Tottenham 108. That's a massive fee paying for Tonali. Yeah, that's a very, very massive fee. My thought on this is 108 million is a huge fee. It is compromising of 92 million fixed plus 7.5 million in add-ons. Yeah. So based, Newcastle initially wanted to keep him, but after failing to qualify for UCL, and Spurs met the outrageous 100 million violation. Each I thought 100 million for penalty is outrageous. It's worth 8 million for me. But if we were pushing it, 92 million would have been a better deal as well, compromise. But 100 million, that is too high for the player. Yeah. It was the player was very interested in the deal, despite some interest from Arsenal, Man City. Yeah, and yeah. So in terms of what are my thoughts on this deal, um, is yeah, he's moving from it's sad that he's leaving a club where that has given him a lot, yeah, that has given him a chance to rebuild his career, especially after his betting allegations and those things. And he's leaving them in Aleppo, and he's leaving them when they don't have UCL football or European football. So he's leaving them in that sort of case, and it's sad how he's leaving them in that state. And yeah, so for the player, he'll have gotten more European football under Newcastle than under Tottenham. Yeah, and the more chances. In terms of trophies, he'll have won more trophies at Newcastle than at Tottenham. Yeah, so I think the player will get it. But is it a step forward to securing a bigger move? Because he talked about moving to it back to Italian league. It is a bigger step. Because let's be honest, I don't think a club like AC Milan will sign a player from Newcastle to go to AC Milan. They rather sign from one of these big six clubs as well. Yeah. So it's a step forward for the player, but trophy wise, it's a step backwards. Yeah. Another player is Hackney. This is a confirmed deal, 19 million pound, 19 million. Hackney has moved to Everton from Middlesbrough. It is a good deal. Rotational player, a very good deal. 19 million, yeah, maximum. The player had 12 months left of his contract and was ready for top flight football. And Middlesbrough knew this that if they didn't win If EFL Championship playoff final, the player will have left for a big club, and the player, if you look at how the plays, he looks like a Premier League rotational player. Doesn't look like an EFL Championship player. Yeah, yeah. So for Middlesbrough was cooperative, then was luckily cooperative. They knocked back several early low ball beats, but eventually cashed in on the academy graduate before losing him for free next year. They could have gotten a bigger fee, to be honest. They could have gotten a 30 million fee with amount of money that other midfielders are going for. 19 million seems like too low for this kind of player. But I think it's due to one year left of his deal. Yeah, I've seen worse players being sold for higher fees than this. So yeah, so it's too low. Again, I think also element of him being a second division player as well, not first division player. Yeah, so yeah, and Hackney stated he stated he knew of the interest, it was always going to be Tottenham because he dreamt of playing in the new stadium and under David Moyes. I think for Hackney, he wanted to play in Premier League. He wanted to play with the big boys, and yeah, so it is a good rotational deal for all the parties. Middlesbrough could have gotten more money for the player. Game time, he'll he'll get less game time. Yeah, he was moving from a starter role to a rotational role. Growth, he'll get a lot of growth because you sell more caps, more deeper cap runs, those things. Yeah, another deal sealed that is confirmed to be sealed. Yeah, before I go on to the next deal, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the streams, and also like the streams and also other things as well. How many things am I having so far? 12 views. Yeah. So for yes, so for this Swedish, is this Swedish? Yeah, for the player, he played well. Let us. Mm, let me see what World Cup role he has had. Yeah, he didn't play in any World Cup role, so it was signed very very young, but he had a very good season for Leeds. Um, Brighton is signing him for 23 million. What will I have to say about that feasibility aspect of it? Yeah, it's officially completed and announced transfer. It is a 6 year old up to 2020, up to 2031. Yeah, for initial fee of 20 million, where each pushes closer to 23 million with add-ons. Yeah. Um, the player was entering his final year of his contract at Elland Road, and Leeds were reluctant, but they know that yeah, Leeds offered him a heavily improved contract to stay, but respected his clear decision for a fresh Premier League challenge after 8 years of service. He's a loyal man. He has been at Leeds for 8.5 years. And Brighton were extremely interested. The manager wanted a ball playing centre back, and he's a good rotation of good playing centre back. Yeah, player interest is complete. He refused the contract extension from Leeds to push through for the move, and yeah, I think Brighton gets the move, and does this the question that this means is Brighton switching to a back three next season because this summer they have signed a lot of centre backs. They signed two centre backs. Yeah, so does it mean they're shifting to a back three potentially? Could it indicate a formation change? Probably, probably not. Another deal that is done, signed, sealed, and confirmed. Yeah, this is a deal that stings me a bit, but Mateus Fernandes has completed his deal to Tottenham. Yeah, it is. Mateus Fernandes has completed this deal for 85 million. Yeah, Tottenham have successfully hijacked United's heavy interest by ruthlessly meeting the Hammers' extreme umbilical valuation by having a previous bid after having a previous bid for Sandro Tonali rejected. West Ham was highly interested. This was highly feasible because of West Ham's relegation to Championship means that they needed a fire sale of one of their lead squad assets, and I mentioned that. And West Ham was financially forced. They tried to hold out a bidding war, but crumbled to a record payout once Spurs put 85 million down cleanly on the table. And Tottenham were desperate and aggressive, more desperate and aggressive than United. United was highly interested, and the player was highly interested. United dropped out when bidding escalated, making Tottenham his undisputed destination to remain in the Premier League. The player's interest was to remain in the Premier League, but he wanted to join United. But when United dropped out, Tottenham was the only one left, and the player chose Tottenham instead of choosing to wait for United. Yeah. Another deal is this deal that has been confirmed for 50 million. Yeah. He plays in the German league, another German league player. He plays for 50 million pounds. Yeah. Bazoma Tiaore. Newcastle has confirmed a 50 million deal to sign Bazoma Tiaore. Yeah, the Ivorian winger travels to Newcastle for his medical as direct tactical replacement for Antonio Gordon, who was sold earlier in the window to Barcelona. Yeah, and remember Newcastle had already received 100 million from Spurs for Sandro Tonali, and they've already received 80 million from Barcelona for no 80 or 60 million for Gordon. So they have around 160 million, and that means it has cleared Newcastle's financial restrictions to spend big again. Yeah. So the 50 million package marks a record transfer fee received in Hoffenheim's history, and Newcastle needed a player after Liverpool had jacked their primary alternative target Victor Munoz. Eddie Howe aggressively pushed to close the Chihuahua deal immediately. I think Victor Munoz, Newcastle was in the polling direction. Newcastle does fumble that deal because They're not willing to pay a they're not willing to pay a small gap, but they could have paid cheaper than spending 50 million on this guy. Yeah, so I think he was worth 30 million. Newcastle wanted to pay 25, so that's a 5 million gap, and Liverpool swooped in and paid the 30 million, 30 to 35 million that they wanted. Yeah. Wilson to Leeds. Yeah, this is a free deal confirmed. Yeah, and Wilson to Leeds is a free deal confirmed. 100% everything is confirmed. The Fulham allowed his contract to expire. Leeds finalized and signed the terms. And yeah, Wilson agreed to the project and signed it. Yeah. Now this is another deal that is confirmed. It was a deal where it was talked about in previous episodes, and it is the replacement for Jean Paul Haki. Yeah, so Brighton and Tottenham have been negotiating. Brighton went to Tottenham asking for this guy to replace Jean Paul Haki, and I don't know what to. Yeah, so yeah, I think I was seeing something for yeah about my Gmail Facebook account. So yeah, so this deal was 95% done. Yeah, 95% almost done. The clubs have agreed on a package of 50 million, consisting of 46 million upfront, 4 million in add-ons, and a 20% sell-on clause for Spurs. Wow, that a big, that a good negotiated deal on behalf of Tottenham, because they are receiving 46 upfront, which is his current valuation. I agree with that. 4 million in the add-ons to reach, yeah. So and then they're paying his current valuation plus potential. So and then Spurs gets a 20% sell on clause for the player, because they know Brighton is known to sell high, and most likely Brighton will sell at 80 million, and 20% sell on clause of 80 minus 50 is equals to around 30 million, and 20% of that is around 1 million. So it is a good negotiated deal. They are benefiting now, they're benefiting the future, and every shilling matters. Yeah, benefiting a lot now, in the future a little bit, but it's a good deal negotiated. Yeah, and they accepted the third bid to cash in on a massive profit on a player behind the behind the packing order of Romero and Van de Ven. Also, I think he's behind the packing order of Danso as well. Yeah, the buying club was willing. He made them their third choice. Buying club was willing. Yeah, he was their top tier, top target and are willing to smash their transfer record to sign him. Player interest was 100%. He slowly pushed for the move to secure regular playing time and previously athletes to personal terms. Yeah. So it is a done deal, a very good done deal, very negotiated deal. And yeah, another deal is I think should I leave it there? Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I think for the next episode I'll leave it there. But thank you guys for joining this stream, and I'll see you guys for the next stream. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, and I'll be live on Saturday for this as well. So